Welcome to South Coast Radio on your gospel session. I'm your radio host Ryan Moodley, and it's always a pleasure catching up with artists we've had on the show before. And today's guest is no exception. About 2 months ago, we had the opportunity to speak with Rachel Durbin about her uplifting single called Pictures of Heaven, a song that reminded us to see God's beauty in every day. Today, Rachel joins us once again with a brand new single called Hard Times, a powerful and reflective ballad that reminds us that even our most difficult seasons can draw us closer to God. Rachel, welcome back to South Coast Radio. How are you doing?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm doing quite well. It's been, busy season, but a good one, and just excited to be able to chat a little bit about it. So.
Wow, that's really awesome to hear. And once again, it's a privilege having you back with us on South Coast Radio. And since we last spoke a couple of months ago, how have things been for you both personally and musically?
Well, they've been good. I've been juggling a lot. It's been our summer break from our school because I teach my children at home. But while we're on break from school, I've been very busy, busier than I think during the school year with recording and trying to get this album finished and just lots of different opportunities, but it's been wonderful. And right now this week we just dove back into our school schedule, so starting to get our routines back in place. And I'm excited to see what God has been doing and what God is going to do with the songs that are still about to be released. So.
Awesome. That's really great stuff, Rachel. Now, for listeners who may have missed our previous interview, can you tell us a little bit about your journey into music and how God led you from teaching music into worship leading and songwriting?
No problem. Well, I've always written songs kind of as a hobby since I was a young child, but when I went to college, I studied music education, and I thought that was going to be the plan, the purpose for my life, until I got saved at the end of my college career, met Jesus, and he made me do a 180, just reevaluating things. And I was still teaching at the time, but he gave me a greater purpose than just teaching music. He gave me a purpose of being his child, and that changed everything that I did. And the worship that I would bring to Sunday service was no longer a performance. It became an outpouring of love for the Lord. Yeah. And then after we had our third child, I had still been teaching full-time up to that point, but once I had baby number 3 in a 3-year span of time, the Lord said, it's time to reassess. Maybe you don't want to work full-time while you're trying to raise these children. And, I laid down music teaching at that time as an act of faith because I felt the Lord calling me to stay home with my children. And right after I did that, the Lord called me into worship leading at our church at the time. And I had not been trained for it, but the Lord equipped me along the way, showed me what to do. And ever since then, I've just been, each place that we've gone, we've been called into worship leading and asked to serve, even when we were not seeking it,
Yep.
And it has been such a joy to get to see how the Lord has redirected those steps along the way. So,
fantastic. By the way, Rachel, congratulations on your beautiful new single, Hard Times. Can you tell us about the inspiration behind the song and what God placed on your heart while writing it?
Sure. Well, during that season of time, I had a few different viruses, like right in a row. So I'd been sick with illnesses that, kind of kept me down or, spoiling my plans for singing at the time. And then at the end of that, throughout that whole time, I had been praying to the Lord for healing, for restoration. And while he didn't necessarily answer that prayer right away, my faith life grew in such a way that I don't think would have happened if I had been healthy that whole time. And so it occurred to me one morning to write a song about that, the fact that I don't really, I would love, an easy life. I would love what we normally consider blessings, but I would rather have the blessing of the relationship with the Lord to be as deep as it is, even if that means going through hard times. And so I sat down at the keyboard, wrote the song in a couple of hours, shared it later on in the evening with a visiting missionary who came to our house, and put it up on YouTube, and then less than a year later I recorded and released it. So I realized the Lord had more plans for this particular song than just for my life. I knew that this experience would speak to a lot of people, a lot more people who have also gone through hard times and wonder why they have not felt that restoration yet. And so that angle sort of helped me, inspire me to write the song and help motivate me to want to record it and release it and share it on this album.
Really awesome stuff, Rachel. Now, one of the key lyrics says, "Why would I pray for good times? For it's in the hard times that I grow." That's a powerful statement. What does that lyric personally mean to you?
Well, like I just said, I've been through those particular seasons of, illnesses, but I've also been through other seasons of life that were really challenging, really hard. We have 5 children actually, and
Wow.
we had those 5 children in a 7-year span of time. So they were all really little, all at the same time, and it was incredibly difficult. But on the other side of that difficult season, I wouldn't change a thing, because my dependence on the Lord in that season of life could only have been formed by letting go of control and trusting the Lord to carry me through it, because there was no other way I could have done it. No other way. And so I'm grateful for that ability to place my trust in the Lord through those difficult times, more than I would be grateful for easy, a life of ease.
That's absolutely great to hear, Rachel. So many people listening today may be walking through difficult seasons in their own lives. What encouragement would you like to share with them through this song?
I would say don't give up and keep pursuing the Lord, even if it feels like He's distant, even if it feels like you're alone. You're never alone. The Lord is near to the brokenhearted, and He desires a relationship with you. He desires for you to place your full trust in Him. And sometimes it's in those difficult seasons when that's the only thing you can do. And so be grateful for the opportunity that you have to place your trust in Him. Don't necessarily be grateful for the difficulty, because nobody is, and nobody really should be grateful for the difficulty, but for the depth of relationship that is possible through those difficult seasons. It is a gift, and on the other side of this difficult season, you'll see God's hand and how He was present with you in it. So
that's absolutely correct and awesome indeed, Rachel. So this is the second single from your upcoming album, Reflection. Can you tell us a little bit about the heart behind the album and what listeners can expect?
Sure. I wanted to just create an album that shared some of the snapshots of the lessons that the Lord has given me throughout life. I enjoy photography as a hobby, and a lot of my songs are actually inspired by these photos of nature that I take, or photos of my garden, or photos of just general life, because the Lord He's speaking all the time in what He shows you, but we have to be attentive to notice those lessons that are visible in the natural world all around us, that are visible in the lives of our children. And so I decided to put together this collection of songs of those lessons, and there's sort of a photography element woven throughout. But basically, I just wanted to train people to see and notice the lessons that the Lord's teaching. And this album is an effort to do that with some songs. The genres are all over the map. So when you listen to this album, it is a journey. It's cinematic. It's supposed to evoke a picture in your mind, just like a photograph would.
Yeah.
And so you'll hear things that are kind of hip-hop dance track. You'll hear sentimental ballads. You'll hear something like a 1940s Broadway song, but it's all really beautifully done and produced by Jordan and Zachariah, that have just done an outstanding job of bringing these different genres together with their creative touches. So
That's really fantastic, Rachel. Now, you wear so many hats, like we spoke about a moment ago, as a wife, a mother of five, worship leader, songwriter, teacher, and even homeschooling your children. How do you balance all of that while continuing to write and record music?
Well, I see each moment as a gift, and I also have learned through those difficult seasons that my identity is not found in any of those specific things that I do. My identity is ultimately as a child of God. That's the most important thing. So even if I mess up or don't do any of those other roles perfectly, just being a child of God is enough. It's sufficient.
Yeah.
And because I know that, it empowers me to want to keep a life of balance, keep a life that is invested in good things, tending to my family, tending to my church and my ministry, tending to myself as a person, because I'm also one of God's creations. So the hobbies and the passions of my heart are valuable and important. And so each day, in each week, I'll kind of reassess, is my life in balance? What's out of balance? How can I reestablish a balance so that I'm making sure that each area of my life is getting the attention that it needs. And so it's a constant refocusing. It's never perfect, but that constant reassessment helps to keep things in balance. So.
Awesome, Rachel. And so you've also mentioned this a moment ago about your music, which is now reaching listeners in over 50 countries, and your YouTube channel that continues to grow. How has it felt seeing God open those doors around the world?
It's such an amazing blessing. I mean, this is never something I would have expected. When the Lord gave me these songs, and I initially, before I started releasing music, I just thought they were my personal journal, my private journal of faith with the Lord, and to see how He has changed my heart in that regard, to realize that these lessons weren't just for me, they are to be a blessing to other people as well. And it started just locally with sharing a song at church. It started being faithful to put a song on YouTube, even when I was scared to death. I didn't know what I was doing. But when we operate in faith and do what the Lord calls us to do, He might not show us the whole picture, but He'll give us each next right step. Mm-hmm. And to see what is possible when we take those small steps of obedience, my mind can't even comprehend how much is going to change in the next few years. Yeah. Because of God, not because of anything that I've done, mm-hmm. but because He is capable of so much more than I could possibly imagine.
Awesome, Rachel. Now, as you continue this journey, what has God been teaching you personally during this season of your life?
Well, right now, I mean, it's just like I said, it's a constant rebalancing, a constant, reassessing each moment. Right now, my oldest son has entered the working world. He's now graduated from homeschool, wow. And so I'm beginning a season where all my kids will be leaving my nest in the next few years. They'll be going out into the world and launching, and it's an exciting time, but it will change very quickly, and yeah. what I've had to balance so far will shift, and I'm excited for new possibilities, but I know it'll also be a bittersweet season, because all of these years of investing in my children have been wonderful, and I'm sure I will miss it. So but I still have a few more. My youngest she's in 6th grade right now. She's 11, so we've got a few more years till they're all moved out.
Okay, so Rachel, finally, before we let you go, where can our listeners find Hard Times as well as your other music, and how can they stay connected with your music and ministry?
Sure. Well, the main hub is on my website, which is called gardenartistrymusic.com. So if you want to check that out, that's got links to all of my social media. It's got all of my songs on there. It's got sort of a story. My bio is on there. What's happening? I've got little blogs where I tell you what's coming up and what's next. But you can also search on all the social media sites for just Rachel Durbin Music. I'm pretty active on YouTube. I've got a song coming out every week on YouTube, either a live cover or an original song, kind of a demo version. So I'm trying to stay active with that. And Instagram and Facebook are the other places where I'm pretty active. So, and of course, you can find my music wherever you stream music.
Really awesome, Rachel, and thank you so much once again for spending time with us. And congratulations once again as well on the release of Hard Times. We pray that this beautiful song encourages many people and reminds them that God is present even in life's most difficult moments.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time, and I appreciate the opportunity to share.
Awesome. You're most welcome, Rachel. And also to the listeners, that is Rachel Durbin, who we've been chatting with right about now. So be sure to check out her latest single called Hard Times on all streaming platforms. And you can even check it out on our website, as she's mentioned before. And enjoy.
The radio station you can't live without. This is your radio.
This is South Coast Radio.